Welcome to the How to Hero YouTube channel, where it's my job to help awaken the hero that exists inside of all of us. Today I wanted to talk about surrender. It was one of the most important things that I had to learn. It was one of the most important lessons that was being taught to me, and I learned a lot about it throughout the years, but the most important teaching that I learned about it was from a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I'm going to do my best to summarize my thoughts on it, because I think that sometimes hearing it in different words helps to just trigger something inside of us. And so I'm just going to kind of take my spin on it. For so many years, I read this book the first time in 2014 or 2015, and I was mesmerized by it. I had a cognitive understanding of everything he was saying. I was like, yes, this guy gets it. But what I didn't understand was, I didn't feel it in my heart. I didn't practice it. I didn't practice surrender. Surrendering to the moment, understanding that the moment is all we have, truly understanding that, and then acting in harmony with that and surrendering to that moment. And I thought of how you can do that. And the way that you can do that is by developing a spiritual practice, or a sadhana is what they call it in the East. It's a practice of remembering that you're not your ego, you're not your psyche, you are light and you are love. And by constantly reminding yourself to be present, you will reduce the operation of the subroutines in your mind, the different unconscious programming that you've developed in your time here through your conditioning. And by simply being aware of this, over time, you will begin to feel that strip away and be able to be more present in the moment. And even now, I'm still very much aware that I'm not always present in the moment. I'm not always there. I'm often lost in thought still. However, it's important that we don't beat ourselves up about that. We embrace that. We understand that it's a practice. It's something that you need to work on, that you need to improve. And as you continuously do this, you will continue to break free from those old subroutines and the old programming. Now, another thing that's worth talking about is just the fact that you can get hung up on your inability to be present. You can begin to distrust in the words and in the writing. You can begin to feel like, I get it, but it doesn't work. It's not working. I'm present. If you were present, it would work. That was one thing that I had to really, truly understand, is that because the operation of surrendering I wasn't truly surrendering, it wouldn't work. I would be, I'm surrendered, I've surrendered. I have. Yet, I'm feeling disharmony in the moment. The disharmony cannot exist if the surrender has happened. And that was something that, as soon as I really got that, it snapped in. And now I just routinely remind myself, the moment is beautiful, and to look towards other moments, whether they're in the future or moments in the past, you're not being present. So if you think, well, this moment's okay, but I really preferred yesterday when I was swimming in the pool, that was really beautiful, I really enjoyed that. You're no longer living presently. And it's something I continue to work on, and it's something many of us will need to work on. And throughout this year, especially in 2020, we're going to find it becomes a lot easier for us to notice our inability to be present, which will help us to make these very strong internal realizations that will shift the activity. It will shift it literally will help our brain become more plastic, elastic, increase elasticity in our brain and allow us to reform these neural pathways and pull ourselves out of this habitual unconsciousness. When we are doing something, we need to have a quality in what we are doing. We need to have a focus on the task we're engaged in. Whether the task is doing the dishes, or talking to your daughter, or driving to work. You can put something on in the background, like music, but you're taking away from the quality of the first thing you're doing. When we're multitasking, we have only so much capacity for our consciousness, for our awareness. When we're listening to something and engaging with that thought and driving, I'm not saying that's bad, but we have to understand that the quality of your driving is going to go down. You have less attention on the road around you. Does that mean you're going to get in an accident? Maybe, but maybe not. It's important that we just understand that we have free will. We although our paths are set in some respect, we do have the freedom of choice in how we engage in those paths. We have the ability to say, well, I'm not going to be totally present at this moment because I also need to engage in this literature that I'm listening to in an audiobook. So I'm driving and I'm listening to a thing. Now I know personally that when I'm doing these things, I'm a pretty good driver. And I can do these two things with decent quality. And it's an acceptable quality. But I'm not present in the moment when I'm doing that. My attention is in multiple spots. Duality is back. In other words, I have a practice of learning from what I'm hearing and absorbing it while trying to maintain attention of the road. And by doing that, I'm not being present. So it's important to understand that there are some tasks we'll do that can benefit from some multitasking. But let's not trick ourselves and think we're present in those moments. If we want to truly be present, we should drive. We can listen to the book later. In listening to the book while we drive, we may miss key pieces of the book we're listening to because our attention shifts to the road. Our attention, generally speaking, cannot be on all these multiple things at the same time. We are constantly shifting back and forth between road, driving, book, road, book. And this happens so fast that you can't always see it. By noticing that you're not fully present, you can make a conscious decision. You can say, well, I know I'm pretty good at driving. I'll decide to lose some of my presence in this moment because I have two things I have to do right now in order to fulfill my purpose. If those things have integrity, and if your purpose is ultimately being filled by these two things, you're not likely going to experience any resistance there. Your higher self is going to guide you through that. Now, you may notice that you get into a minor accident. If you get into a minor accident while you're listening to a book and while you're trying to multitask, that's a lesson that you're trying to teach yourself. Your higher self is saying, you're not that good at this. You're not as good at this as you think you are. So will I have this happen to me? Maybe. Maybe I give myself too much credit. Maybe I really do need to focus on the presence. Just saying it now, I'm thinking, maybe I'm onto something here. So, as you go through life, treat yourself with patience. Be patient with yourself, because you are working towards your true purpose. And there are going to be bumps, there are going to be challenges, and all of these challenges are here to serve as lessons. And the lessons are going to be very, very clear coming through into 2020 as the collective consciousness of humanity is raising. You may notice a lot of people, myself included, if you know me personally, I didn't talk about these things to people. I've been on this path for many years now, and I just was not comfortable. I was worried what people would think about me. And I still worry about that to a degree. But this is a time of clarity, and this is a time to be bold, and this is a time to move out of those old systems of thought that don't serve you. And an old system of thought that doesn't serve me is to worry about what people think about me. As long as I'm acting out of love, and I'm not acting out of fear, then my actions will have integrity. People that will resonate with it will see it and they will appreciate it. And people that don't resonate with what I say won't get it. Maybe they'll insult me. And I will say, namaste. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. If you like this, click the like button and consider sharing it. It really helps with the channel. Also, I'll put a link to the Power of Now below. It will be an Amazon affiliate link. Just know by purchasing through that link, you're directly supporting me in this mission to help bring out the hero in everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a very, very good day. Take care.